Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you're joining us. It's 11 o'clock on my time zone. So once again, thank you for joining us. This is the last session for today for our Wonder Week series, which is Mechanical Industrial Engineering. We have a great team that's going to talk more about the program. We have two of our amazing faculty members, as well as two of our current student ambassadors. So just some housekeeping rules. On the bottom of your screen, you will see a Q&A feature or a Q&A box. That Q&A box is where you definitely want to type in any questions you have. I will say if you have any more specific application questions and stuff like that, that's going to be a little bit more geared to you to email our admissions inboxes. That requires us to look at your student record. But anything generic about the program, student life, student experience, definitely use the Q&A feature, and I will be answering them throughout the session, as well as we'll answer them after the presentation as well. So why Northeastern, right? So what is Northeastern? So Northeastern is a top-ranked R1 research and experiential learning university. Something you hear from myself as well as members from Northeastern is experiential learning. That is one of our flagship, and I like to also call it like one of our hashtags, because that is something we continuously continue to do at the university itself, and to just make ourselves more better and to make it more stand out, as well as to keep up with the market trends. Something else is that we are #1 ranked in co-op and internship. College of Engineering just completed 115 years of co-op, so it's definitely in our blood and in our streamline at the university. Within the 10 colleges and schools within Northeastern University, College of Engineering is one of them, and it makes 1/3 of the student population of over 50,000 students. So we definitely have a large network for you to connect with, not just in the College of Engineering, but within the other colleges at the institution. Something else that we always like to talk about is Northeastern has everything under the sun, in my opinion. We have from bachelor's all the way to PhD certificates, so you could always be a continuous student at Northeastern and continues to be a triple or a quadruple Husky, if you may. And then within all of the research that our faculty does, we have over 296 million external research awards that our faculty are constantly working on, as well as some of our staff members. So what does it look like at Northeastern, right? We are a Boston-based university, but we also have 13 global campuses within our network, and I'll have a slide that shows us where we are. But this is the demographic of the College of Engineering. We have moved up in our ranking as we continuously strive to. We are 34 best engineering graduate school and 35 best engineering undergrad school. Within that, like I've stated earlier, we make 1/3 of the student population, where our graduate students are a big, large chunk of that student population. And so we're looking at roughly around 6,300 graduate students. And then we have everything from PhD, MS, and BS, and various tracks along the way. Then our faculty are constantly doing research, and then they're also always getting awards, NSF grants, and stuff like that. And that is something that they continuously keep doing, and they've been doing it since 2020, and we've just been seeing a rise of up to 35% of their research. So what does this look like? And this is our global university system. So although we have 13 campuses, College of Engineering is at 9 of them. So our main campus, which is Boston, and then we have the global network, which is from our West Coast to East Coast, and then we have 2 international campuses in Toronto and Vancouver. And this slide would discuss a little bit more further what we offer at those campuses. So at this point in time, we have 35 master's degree programs. We have 9 PhD programs. So on the right side of the screen, you will see where our global campus network is and the programs that are available to you at those campuses as being a student at Northeastern. So within that piece or component, we have 6 departments within the College of Engineering: bioengineering, chemical engineering, mechanical industrial engineering, civil and environmental engineering, electrical and computer engineering, and then the last one is multidisciplinary graduate education. Although these are different departments, they all very much work very close together, and that you'll see and you'll hear that more from my team that's here. So without further ado, I'd like to pass it over to the department.
Hey, Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are. We're very happy to have you here in this session. And I would like to say a few words about Department of Mechanical and Industrial Engineering. My name is Babak Haydari, and I'm one of the associate chairs of graduate studies. The other associate chair is Professor Yoongjun Yoon, and he's also joining us, but I'll do the presentation today. Next, please. So, mechanical and industrial engineering. What I want to basically kind of like be is the takeaway from this presentation are basically a few things. One is that our department, we call it MIE, Mechanical and Industrial Engineering, is very large in terms of the size, the number of students, number of faculty, and the second thing is that we do a lot of things, both in terms of research and also in terms of education. This is not just the quantity, but also the diversity of the degrees that we offer, but also and the diversity of research that we offer. And so if I want to put that in context, you could think of MIE as something like a 3.5 department in many other places. So the mechanical engineering in most schools is its own department. The industrial and systems engineering is often its own department. And also material science is also at MIE. And then we have maybe you can count half of bioengineering as well. So the fact that all these three um, disciplines are together in the department, it's not just these, it makes this the whole more than the sum of individuals. It creates a lot of unique opportunities at the intersection of these different disciplines, both in terms of education and in terms of research. So moving forward, I would like to say a few things about that. But just before that, just since I mentioned the size of the department, we are close to 100 faculty when we count both research, teaching, tenure and tenure track faculty and teaching faculty. And we have more than 3,500 students combined undergraduate and graduate. You can find a lot of universities or colleges that are that size. Okay, so next. So just one slide on the leadership of the department so that you can match the faces to the titles. So I'm not, the Professor Yingzi Lin is the department chair, and I talked about my role and Professor Jung's role, and you can see the other roles, so I don't want to go over them, just this is mainly for your reference later. You can find this information on the website. Next. Okay, so let's go to the part that you probably are more interested in. As I mentioned, we do a lot of things in terms of education. So we look at the program. You can have like this slide shows the overview of both the master's programs and the doctoral programs, PhDs. So we have several master's programs ranging from traditional master's programs in mechanical engineering, industrial engineering, but also some kind of professional and interdisciplinary programs. I'll go over them one by one in a minute. And also we have doctoral programs. Most of them, if you're interested in doing a PhD at some point, usually the way it works is that the title of your degree is very general, industrial engineering, mechanical engineering, but there's quite a bit of variation depending on who your advisor is, what your research focus is. So most of that differentiation is in terms of what research you are doing rather than the title of the degree. And next. So as I was mentioning, we can cluster our master's programs, which basically most of our students are graduate students are in the master's programs. you can cluster them into two buckets. One, we can call it traditional master's programs. There's no, these are industrial engineering, mechanical engineering, materials, and so on and so forth. So one way to think about it is that this is the master's program that you would study if you want to do a PhD, or if you want to work with a master's but have a more solid theoretical foundation. So it gives you the option to finish with the master's and go to work, but also gives you the option to do a PhD. And the second bucket are the ones that are more like professional degrees. Sometimes we call them terminal degrees. So these are the ones that you take a master's, it's more experiential. It gives you enough theory, but the focus is basically being hands-on and being able to get a job in industry in something more applied from day one. And we have most of our programs in terms of the number of students is in that category. And then we also have PhDs, two main PhD programs. It's roughly 63% mechanical engineering, 37% industrial engineering. Okay, let me talk about a few examples of these master's programs. I'll highlight a few of them. Next, please. By the way, Professor Jung is providing some comments on so I'll encourage you to look at the chat also to see those comments. Okay, so I'm going to have a very brief overview on some of the programs, but if you have further questions, you want to know more about them, you want to see whether it's a good fit for you, I encourage you to contact the individual program directors. This is the full list of all the program directors. So if you want to take a snapshot, these are the people that you might want to contact depending on what programs you're interested in. Next, please. So let's look at some examples of the master's programs. So we have two large master's programs. Probably these two are among the largest programs in the whole university. The first one is a master's in engineering management. So this is a very interdisciplinary master's. It's typically the career path is someone who has an undergraduate in engineering, maybe also science, depending the students need to have solid analytical background. Maybe they have worked for a year or two in engineering, and then they come to this program. They still get a lot of technical knowledge, but also they also learn about leadership. So leadership in terms of leading the engineering projects and leading engineers, but also leading engineering processes, both. And it's basically dual competency, and it's industry design. It's one of the oldest programs of engineering management in the country, and probably the largest one in terms of the number of students. It dates back to more than 50 years ago. It's closely integrated with the needs of industry, and it's very flexible in terms of it. We have full-time and part-time. We have on-campus and online programs. And we have also a few different options based on coursework, project, or thesis. I'm going to talk about those later. So, and I also have the contact persons for each of these programs if you want to know more. I happen to be also a co-director of this program as well. Let's go to the next one. The second large program, you remember we had 43% engineering management, 43% of students in data analytics engineering. So this is the other program. This program provides students with knowledge and skills to improve products, processes, systems, and enterprises through data mining, data management, machine learning, and visualization. So this is basically going from data to decision. You can think of it that way. And it has a lot of different electives. And then once you learn the foundations of working with data and some AI material, some AI knowledge, you can take courses from business, engineering, health, or courses related to healthcare, manufacturing, computer science, or information systems, depending on which career path you're interested in pursuing. You can also gain valuable research experience by working on through individual studies or working with research active faculty in the department. This is a very also evolving program, depending, the world of analytics, machine learning, and AI is changing very quickly. So every year we are adding more courses or updating the existing courses depending on what's going on in that field and what the needs are in the market. So you can also specialize your degree with a graduate certificate from the College of Engineering. We have many different certificates. That's not just for this program. That's true for all the master's programs as well. Next. So we also have a few more new programs. The previous two that I discussed, engineering management and data analytics, these two are fairly established programs, very large, but we have also a couple of programs that are designed to respond to the current needs of the market, and we're very excited that these programs have been launched, and we're anticipating a big growth in them. So one is this advanced smart and digital manufacturing. It helps engineers and scientists to design, optimize, and lead next generation manufacturing systems across advanced, smart, and digital domains. So you can think of this as the kind of like intersection of traditional manufacturing engineering and a lot of computer science computer science operations research and digital technologies. So it focuses on cutting edge manufacturing, integrates digital technologies, including Internet of Things, additive manufacturing, robotics, and AI. It has a flexible pathway. This flexible pathway cuts across all our programs. So I think you will see that on all the slides. This program has particularly strong industry and research ecosystem with partnerships with major companies such as General Electric, IBM, Raytheon, and a few of the national labs. You can integrate this and also other programs with certificates on engineering leadership, and that basically gives you that leadership edge as well in the programs. Again, the contact information, the contact person is also listed, Professor Jin. Next. So finally, I want to highlight two of the very recent interdisciplinary master's programs that cut across several departments and colleges, and each department has a specialty within that master's program. For example, the master's in artificial intelligence, the master's of AI, is a large campus-wide program that is offered by both College of Engineering and Khoury College of Computer Science. And the MIE and each department is specialized in one aspect of it. MIE is specialized in Masters of AI in energy systems. We have a long tradition for having solid graduate programs in engineering in energy systems, and this is the specialty that we pursue when it comes to masters of in artificial intelligence. Professor Mo Taslim is the program director there. It's a very new program, and we're very excited about it. So I encourage you to look at the website or contact Professor Taslim. Same thing with masters in robotics. So a few other departments are also involved in this. Electrical and computer engineering, obviously computer science, biomedical engineering, but also mechanical engineering is focused on the masters in robotics. We do a lot of mechanics of robots, preparing students to build end-to-end robotic systems, and also in conjunction with our industrial and systems engineering program, we have a strong human in the loop aspect that makes, and we leverage the fact that both mechanical and industrial engineering are in the same program. So with that enables us to do some of these interdisciplinary aspects as well. Okay, next. So I talked a lot about flexibility. Flexibility comes into different forms. It's part-time, full-time for some of the programs, online versus on ground, and for some of other programs. But something that is is the flexibility that is relevant to almost all our master's program is that it gives you three options to do your master's. One is that just the coursework option. You can complete 32 semester hours of coursework and get your master's. This is kind of like the plain vanilla master's. The second one is the thesis options, and the thesis options is if you like to do research or if you're interested in pursuing PhD after your master's, you can do a research project. You can do a master's thesis, which basically is going to be 8 credit unit or semester hours, and you can do that in 2 semesters. Each semester you need to take 4 semester hour of research. So this typically takes 2 years, sometimes a year and a half, but it takes a bit longer. But it gives you lots of experience in terms of doing some projects autonomously. And then there's something in between, which is project option, and that's just 28 semester hour of coursework and a 4 semester hour of project work. It's kind of like a mini thesis, if you may. And you do this in just 1 semester, and you can finish in a year and a half if you take the project option. So just something to I think I said it when I gave the highlight of the programs, but the ones that I did kind of like a bit zoom in are more either the larger programs or the newer programs. We have several other master's programs and also PhD programs that you can look at the list. For example, masters in mechanical engineering, masters in industrial engineering, material science. So these are the ones that have these are the ones that I did not cover in depth, but these are all amazing programs with and you can see the comment by Professor Jung in the chat box. Okay, next. So I think I already talked about PhD. PhD is basically you do some coursework, but effectively you do a PhD if you want to either become a researcher in academia, or you want to do cutting edge research related work in in industry. So that's and that's how you can consider whether I want to do a PhD or not. And so we have PhD in both mechanical engineering and industrial engineering. And you have a lot of flexibility in when you do the PhD because most of your work depends on the research topic that you're focusing on, and the advisor and the negotiation and the decision between you and your advisor. But to give you even more flexibility, in addition to these two PhD programs in mechanical engineering and industrial engineering, we have College of Engineering offers this interdisciplinary PhD that you can basically do that in as by bringing in at least two departments, but even more. So if your topic is somehow related to both mechanical and industrial engineering, but also civil engineering, you can just pursue interdisciplinary PhD and customize your entire PhD path in coordination with your research advisor. I'll be happy to respond to any question about the PhD programs, but I'll just leave it at that. Next, please. So just to give you a high-level perspective of when we say research at the MIE department, what types of research we do. And this is kind of like an overview of a few different research areas in the department. And going back to the first thing that I mentioned at the beginning of my presentation, that we do a lot of things, you can see that also in this picture. So given the nature of the department, we do research from all the micro level focus on looking at the materials for the future, all the way to macro level topics like resilience of sustainable service systems, looking at the kind of like entire supply chain, for example, in modeling supply chain. And then a lot of other things in between: human technology integration, complex systems and networks, manufacturing, biomechanics and biofluids, energy systems, complex fluids, and just mechanics and robotics. So we have a lot of different research areas. And if you're interested, the best way is to look at the research focus of a few faculty in each of these concentrations, and then see whether any of those topics resonate with you. I usually encourage students to look at the publications of the last 4 or 5 years of a research faculty and then contact them directly if they see any fit between their research and the research of the faculty and the students' interest. Okay, next. We're good not just in education, but also in research. So we have, these are just like a few highlights. I don't want to go over them one by one, but just to give you an example of some of the things that make our department unique in terms of research. The most prestigious award of that a young faculty, typically an assistant professor, can get is the NSF Career Award. And it's very competitive. If a university in a given year, the entire university gets, 3, 4 career award, that's usually considered a success. This year, just the MIE department, we had 5 colleagues who received career grants in 1 year. And that speaks about the quality of the cutting edge research that our colleagues do at MIE. Next. We also encourage our students especially graduate students, to do a lot of bottom-up type of grassroots activities. So we have several student organizations that are created and led by students. This is a great experience. So students who join us are not just pursuing education, they're also experiencing community building and establishing a professional network that is going to be useful for them. And these are some of the examples. The Institute for Operations Research and Management Science, we had our student chapter received several awards, Aspiring Product Managers, Engineering Management Student Organization, and Energy System Society. These are a few examples that you can most of them have their own website and they're very active. So you can look them up or contact the students who are active in those organizations for more information. Next. Yes, this is my last slide. Just if you have more questions about the process of applying for these programs, or you have more questions about individual programs, you can contact this team. But also, if you have questions about the specific programs, I showed you the program directors earlier, so you can contact the program directors of each program individually. I think that was my last slide. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. So I hope all the information that was shared was super helpful. And then to add to that, we have two amazing student ambassadors here, Isabella and Sneha. And so they'll talk to you about their experience and just like what they are doing in the program and just some fun facts about them. So I'm going to pass it over to Isabella. Oops, sorry.
Hi everyone, I'm Isabella. I also go by Bella, and I'm currently pursuing my master's in engineering management on the Boston campus. I recently graduated from Northeastern in May with my undergrad degree in chemical engineering, and I was in the +1 program, so I was able to complete half of my master's studies in my undergrad. So I only have 1 year left to graduate. For professional experience, I have been a manufacturing science and technology intern at Bristol Myers Squibb, and I have some process engineering experience at a biotechnology called Unicure and a chemicals and fragrance company called DSM-Firmenich. My interests, I'm definitely interested in the pharmaceutical and biotechnology industry, as well as consumer goods, but specifically in the manufacturing space. And then my hobbies, Legos, traveling, trying new restaurants, and I love watching documentaries. Yeah, and I am a student ambassador, so feel free to ask any questions that you may have.
Hi everyone, my name is Neha and I'm doing my master's in engineering management at the Boston campus. So I previously did my Bachelor of Engineering in Chemical Engineering. And I have 3 years of experience. I worked in operations and analytics. My interests do lie into getting into product development and product management. Apart from that, on the side, I love listening to music and traveling and exploring new food places, as well as new whether it be museums or exploring the city. And yeah, so I am the student ambassador for engineering management. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to me. And yeah, you can, yeah. So we're student ambassadors, so you can scan the QR code to go on the website and reach out to us via WhatsApp, Instagram, or you can also email us. There's also an inquiry form in the QR code on the website, and you can reach out to us or ask us any questions about the campus, about any process that you have, or pending work. You can reach out to us.
So some things that we can help you with as student ambassadors, if you have any questions specific to a department or a program, we have people studying various degrees that can help you out with that. We also help with questions related to the student experience on various campuses or just a perspective of a student in the master's program or in a PhD program. Any questions related to coursework, we can answer that as well in relocating between campuses, including Seattle, Boston, or Silicon Valley. And just any questions in terms of taking advantage of your time at Northeastern, whether that's like on or off campus, we can help you out with that. Some things that we can't answer, anything related to admissions. So anything that's your application eligibility or decisions or status changes, we can't answer that. And any course registration issues or international student payments, we can't answer that. But yeah, we can direct you toward the appropriate office for that.
Thank you. So what does that look like, right? So these are your next steps. So now you guys have all the knowledge and the wealth from both faculty as well as our parent student ambassadors. So what are your next steps as a student? So for some students that have joined us that have already been accepted or have deferred their acceptance, there are some things you want to pay attention to and look out for. So of course, the first one is paying your enrollment deposit. Once you pay your enrollment deposit, there's a floodgate that will open. So you want to claim your Northeastern Husky account. Along with that, there's the help form that you will fill out. And then if you're an international student, the pipeline's a little bit different. You want to look at your applying for I-20s and making sure everything is checked off in your student portal. Everything that is communicated to you, so the students, will be through your Slate portal. That is the application platform you will use to submit your application. And that is where the majority or all of the communication is set out until you have obtained your Husky email ID. So that's just a little roadmap that we have at the university. And then if you haven't applied, there's still opportunity for you to apply. So for any students that are applying for MS specifically, all of our MS applications are waived. So there shouldn't be a fee. And if it's asking you for a fee, you may be on the wrong page. So definitely just make sure that you're on the right page with Northeastern University. However, there is an application fee for PhD students, but that is waivable today because you have joined our webinar. So on the next slide, we'll just show you where the application fee is, and then just want to make sure it is case sensitive. So the way you see it is the way you want to type it in. Something that we do require students when they do submit their application, we do require 2 letters of recommendation. There is a link that you would share with the members, and they want to make sure they submit it. We do require unofficial transcripts, your statement of purpose, a resume, and then we do accept English proficiency exams from IELTS, TOEFL, or Duolingo. Something to be mindful for that that could be waivable depending on where your degree is or where you're from. If you go on our website, there's more information on how that is waivable. So if you are a student coming from a region that we normally do require English proficiency exams, but your entire education has been completely done in English as the primary spoken language, that could be waivable. So just make sure that you look into that, and then GREs are optional at this time. Like I stated earlier, so that is the fee waiver code that you definitely want to take a snippet of and make sure you have it saved in your phone or anything along those lines, but just make sure it is case sensitive. So it is apply, the A is capital, COE is also capital, and everything is together. So it's apply COE 2026. And then the application deadlines and process, right? So for students that are still considering the spring, you have until November 1st to submit your application. For any students that are on the domestic front, you have until December 1st. I would not wait until December 1st. You have about 3 weeks to submit your application. So definitely for everyone that's joined us and you have not yet submitted your application, please do so. And then of course the fall application priority for MS is January 15th. For all PhD applications, the deadline is December 1st. And then last but not least, I think my screen froze on this phone, but there's various ways for you guys to consider tips and tricks, right? Like you've already had connected with the student ambassador, you've attended our events. And then a cool thing is that you could apply to more than one program within the College of Engineering. So you could choose multiple programs. So like if you like how was discussed earlier, all the various programs within mechanical and industrial engineering, you have options of choosing other concentrations within it too. So you could do data, you could do management, anything along those lines. It's something that you could consider. And then scholarship opportunities. We have various opportunities at the university. All students are reviewed for a deemed merit-based scholarship. That is automatic. That is used through your application portal, but we do have regional scholarships available to you, as well as we do have program scholarships as well. And that's about 25% off. And then any additional scholarship that you awarded would be applicable to your application. And last but not least, staying in touch with us. We are around the clock. Our ambassadors are great. Definitely you could ping them through the emails or through the inquiry form, as well as our admission inbox is always being looked at by myself and my team, and you can access any questions that way. So I'm going to leave that on the screen for you guys to just take down or screenshot, and we'll answer any questions that have come in. I know that some of them were being answered while we were presenting, so that's always great. So I think my question to both Sneha and Isabella will be, so a lot of students sometimes do switch their majors from like different engineering degrees to different engineering programs. So what made you guys change from chemical engineering into mechanical and industrial engineering?
Yeah, I can start. I always knew that I wanted to take on more leadership roles later on in my career, just to help progress that. And a lot of people in industry suggest doing an MBA, so that you don't have any barriers in progressing your career. So when I came to Northeastern, I knew I wanted to pursue chemical engineering, but eventually might consider doing an MBA. And then I learned about the engineering management program through the +1 program, and it felt perfect because the engineering management is kind of like the MBA of engineering. So it worked out really perfectly. I loved all the classes. I'm doing a coursework only option, so everything aligned really well with my interests, and it was just a great degree that I knew down the line would benefit me a lot.
Great, thank you.
I think similar to that, I wanted, after doing my chemical engineering, I started working in a different role. I was working in operations and analytics. And I realized that I want to grow more into that and get into more leadership roles, as well as engineering management is a great degree if for you to pursue different paths as well. You can go into project, product, data analytics. You can pick whichever field that you are interested in, take up courses that suit you. So I really like the coursework, and it aligned with what I wanted to do in the future. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Great. I think we've answered majority or most of the questions. So I think I'll ask one more question to our great ambassadors. So what is one thing on campus you guys like the most? And then, so let's say, so Isabel, if you go first, Sneha, if you have the same answer, you have to choose a different one. So we'll start off with Sneha first, though. What is like one thing on campus you like the most?
I mean, I like my friends. The campus is beautiful. Right now, I like the fall colors, and but I also do like attending classes, and participating in a lot of events. I hope I'm not mentioning everything, but yeah.
I'd say I love how everything is so accessible and it's such a campus feel within a big city. I grew up in a city, so I knew I wanted to have a more traditional college experience while being in a more urban area. And the Northeastern campus, the Boston campus, has multiple train lines that are accessible to all parts of the city. The campus itself, you can walk within 10, 15 minutes from end to end. And we have so many things around the campus. My friends and I are constantly going out and going to new places, all within like a 10-minute walk of campus. So I just love how everything is so accessible and fun, both academically and personally.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you to the amazing ambassadors and team. We are at the top of the hour, so I appreciate everyone's time, and I hope this was very helpful for all the students. Like I've stated earlier, there's a week-long tons of more events for you to attend, so definitely feel free to do so, as well as you will receive a follow-up email, as well as this recording will be shared on our YouTube page. So once again, thank you everyone, and enjoy the rest of your day.